Sometimes it feels like the weight of everything happening around us makes it hard to catch a calm moment. This is 10 Better Minutes, a place to hear stories that often go quietly by. Here, you will find recent real-world moments that add some balance without ignoring the tough parts. I am Ian Rhodes, your host, and I appreciate you joining me to spend a little time together. Today's stories offer a gentle reminder that there is more to notice than the loudest headlines. But first, let's begin with a story about California becoming the first state to provide a month's supply of diapers, free to every newborn before they leave the hospital. California just did something quietly powerful for brand new families. Governor Gavin Newsom announced a statewide program with the nonprofit Baby2Baby to give parents 400 free diapers when their newborns are discharged from participating hospitals. That first month can be a blur of sleep deprivation, appointments, and figuring out feeding schedules, but diapers do not care about the learning curve. They arrive every day, whether a family feels ready or not. The program is designed to ease that early financial pressure with real practical support. Families will receive diapers in sizes for newborns and babies up to 14 pounds, so the help is matched to the needs of those first weeks. What makes this especially uplifting is the rollout plan. In the first year, California aims to partner with about 65 to 75 hospitals that handle roughly a quarter of births, focusing largely on facilities that serve low-income patients. The funding reflects how seriously the state is taking the problem. California set aside $7.4 million in last year's budget and is proposing an additional $12.5 million for the fiscal year, ending June 2027. Diapers are often a monthly expense of about $100 per child, and this program offers stability right when families are most vulnerable to sudden costs. It is a simple idea, and that is why it feels so hopeful. When a community shows up with 400 diapers at the hospital door, it says you are not doing it alone. Some promises start small, and then somehow they keep growing with time. This one lived in a family for 14 years, waiting for the right night. Avon Williams was only around 2 years old when he made a promise that meant a lot to his grandmother, Svala Heller. She had grown up in Iceland, where prom traditions are not quite the same, and she would wonder what it would feel like to step into that kind of night. By the time Avent was 17, that dream had become something the whole family could hold on to. When prom finally came, he did not let the years pass quietly. He took Svala to prom at La Crosse Central High School in Wisconsin, and he brought the celebration with him. Before the dance, they posed for photos with friends, letting the moment look like a real prom moment, not just a wish. His best friend, Reuben Smith, even joined as a second prom date so Svala could enjoy the night with more laughter and company around her. It was the kind of simple thoughtfulness that turns a single event into a whole memory. And you know that feeling when you realize you kept your word, even after a long wait. By the end of the night, Svala got to experience prom at last, and Avant could feel in a very quiet way that he had made her dream come true. In Caracas, something practical and deeply humane is taking shape on the street, one careful appointment at a time. On the Panarosa bus, homeless women step inside and are met with respect before anything else. Nursing assistant Marianes Quintero welcomes riders and speaks from lived experience, including her own return to Venezuela, and what it feels like to navigate life when you have nowhere steady to go. Panarosa is a modified mobile clinic run by Fundación Santa en las Calles, created because an earlier mobile service, Panabas, mostly served men. The bus sister program was built specifically for women, offering gynecology and obstetrics care comparable to a private health center. That means exams and counseling, pap smears, physical checkups, family planning support, and ultrasounds when needed. The clinic is designed to handle up to 5 patients a day, so the care stays focused and personal. So far, Panarosa has treated 100 women, and for those who want more than medical help, the support continues. The program offers psychological evaluation and reintegration assistance for individuals and even families, helping people consider what life could look like beyond the streets. What stands out most is that dignity shows up as a routine, a warm welcome, a real exam, and a steady path forward. Not just temporary relief, but trust in people. It is a simple reminder that courage can come in the smallest packages, especially when people around you are ready to respond. In a Beaverton, Oregon apartment on April 17th, 4-year-old Nova Hallett was with her grandmother Charlene and her baby brother. When Charlene fell and ended up bleeding and disoriented, Nova did not freeze or look for an adult from inside the moment. She ran outside, found a neighbor, and urgently explained what had happened. The neighbor immediately called for help. Soon, first responders arrived and were guided to the home through an unlocked door, where they could quickly assess Charlene. Paramedics then transported her to a nearby hospital, and after about a week, Charlene recovered and returned home safely. What stands out to me is how Nova seemed to understand, in her own childlike way, that emergencies require action now, not later. And it also highlights something steady and hopeful about communities. When trust is built in everyday life, people can show up fast for the person in need. Beaverton police plan to nominate Nova for a Community Life-Saving Award, and honestly, it feels earned. Her bravery was not loud, it was practical, and it helped turn a frightening day into one with a safe ending. Sometimes the most hopeful conservation stories begin with something simple and careful, a planned journey for a small, rare species and the people who refuse to give up on its future. In this case, 4 male mountain bongos were flown to Kenya from European zoos to support breeding and rewilding efforts. Fewer than 50 mountain bongos remain in the wild, so every new genetic connection matters. Before the trip, the animals received veterinary care at Safari Park Dvor Králové in the Czech Republic. Then they traveled more than 4,000 miles by KLM cargo plane, arriving at Mount Kenya Wildlife Conservancy. On April 28th, they were welcomed at an arrival ceremony that was officiated by Kenya's Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife. It was a moment meant to honor the collaboration behind the scenes, from international caretakers to local conservation teams. What stands out to me is how this story treats hope as something you can build, not just feel. 4 bongos may seem like a small number, but in a recovery plan, genetic diversity is like a quiet foundation. With improved breeding capacity and secure habitats, these animals can help set the stage for future reintroduction and renewed possibilities across the landscape. As always, I have a gentle tip for you to help you reset your mind and find a little more steadiness in the world. Today's tip is about a reading that reminds you how much quiet good still exists. Sometimes we need something smaller than a solution and softer than a big plan. Pick a short piece to read when you feel your attention getting pulled toward noise, worry, and worst-case scenarios. It can be a poem, a letter, a personal essay, even a few pages from a book you already trust. The goal is not to learn everything. The goal is to let your nervous system catch up to what is still true. As you read, look for moments that feel grounded, a detail about someone noticing something kind, a sentence that sounds like real life, a paragraph that does not rush you. Let those words act like a window you can stand in front of. When you finish, pause for 10 slow breaths and ask yourself one question. What part of that reading felt quietly hopeful? Then, if you want, choose one small action that matches it today, like sending a warm message, taking a slower walk, or simply making space to be still. Good still exists, quietly, and you can find it again, one sentence at a time. Well, that is the end of today's episode, and thank you for sticking with me through it. If you have been feeling worn down by headlines, I hope this helped put a little steadiness back in your day, Because kindness, good work, and quiet decency are still out there, even when the noise feels louder. If you would like a few more 10 Better Minutes to return to, please follow or subscribe, and new episodes are posted every day. And if you want, come back tomorrow with me and we will keep looking for the lighter side of what is true in the world. This is Ian Rhodes with 10 Better Minutes. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.